Okay, it says we are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binaries, interplanetary intergalactic time travelers. I salute you. Uh, this is Oliver, and I like to say I'm in a bunker 72 in the People's Republic of Multnomah County or the People's Republic of Portland. Depends on how you look at it, right? I'm kind of becoming more of a decentralized county guy. Let me play a little bit of this music here. It's the Year of the Dragon. Year of the Dragon. And I'm experimenting and playing around with this StreamYard and trying to see if things can come together because it's been so one track binary type of recordings that it's pretty brutal. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the dragon art and the New Year's Chinese New Year of the dragon, the pangolin. The pangolin, there is this new souped up 100% mortality, could be disease X. I don't know what it is. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving any medical advice. YouTube likes to shut me down when I try to talk about stuff. I'm not giving any medical advice. Do I look like a doctor? I'm not a doctor. Listen, YouTube, my censors, my handlers. I don't know why you guys want to treat me like that. You don't need to treat me like that. I'm not giving any medical advice. There's nothing dangerous coming out from me. Okay? Except for a little bit of dangerous EDM. You know what that stands for, censors? Dance music. All right? Let's try a little bit of that.
I heard about this one party. There's just sweat on the wall.
Oh boy, that is so tasty. Year of the Dragon. That is Soju Girl. Soju Girl. 15 days ago. It's a house beat. She's or they are right on target for the Year of the Dragon, which is 2024. And so I don't know too much about them. I'm following them now. She's got a whole bunch of, or they've got a whole bunch of people here that she gives shout outs to and people that she's kicking it with and having a good time 15 days ago. So pretty powerful. There's a couple of better spots than others, in my opinion, but you just have to check that out yourself and just kind of make your own. It's like music, it's beats. What do you like it or not? I actually love EDM. I think it's therapeutic. I actually think that it can change wave patterns. It can improve mood. I mean, of course, one could say anyone's favorite music improves the mood, but there's something there to be said for it. So, let's see here. So, the Year of the Dragon, those pictures that I was showing, a few of those, were, let's see here. We'll go, that pangolin. I mean, that thing, the thing that was tripping me out about this creature, pangolin, the pangolin, is that it looks like a dragon, right? I mean, it does to me. It looks prehistoric. It's very unusual. I can't think of any other creature that looks like that. Okay. It's kind of got a dinosaur feel, which dragons remind me of dinosaurs. I don't know. But it's kind of odd. And to me, it's just it's like the duck-bill platypus. It's like, what the fuck is that thing? What the fuck is that thing? A duck-billed platypus, right? It's the thing that puts a monkey wrench into the entire Darwinism. If you study that, you'll know that the egg-laying creature doesn't fit into Darwinism framework. So that's, if you don't know that, you should take a look at that. But it's very, very odd. And they keep bucking with these things in the labs, kind of souping it up like gain of function, gain of function, where they're taking things, genes, and kind of CRISPR editing type of stuff. See, everything's reversed on this. So I go right to go left. And so it's not proper in my book. It shouldn't be happening. In fact, it's not legal in many countries, and it's, you could look at it several different ways. Like the torturing of the animals, I think, is one way to look at it. The fact that we're creating these super viruses that really are not good. They're not good for anybody, right? So again, YouTube, I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just giving my perspective. I'm just reading the data. It's pretty crazy. The censors, they don't like me talking about nothing. Okay, so can you see this? So I flip back on StreamYard. You do full screen. Oh man, I can't even read that. Wow. So you've got to have that like blown up. How am I going to do that? Let's see here. I don't know if that's going to help, but so this just came out 5 days ago. And it's a preprint, okay? It's not been certified by peer review. Lethal infection of human ACE2 transgenic mice caused by SARS-CoV-2 related pangolin coronavirus GX dash underscore P2V short 3UTR. Okay. Now, this should be in the show notes. If not, I'll drop it in a comment. But the abstract SARS-CoV-2 related pangolin coronavirus GXP2V short 3UTR can cause 100% mortality. That's everybody. That's the whole crew. That's the test study. 100% mortality in human ACE2 transgenic mice. Now, those humanized mice, what makes that concerning is that it's the mice are developed, built, gene edited to be more human like. So it's more human. It could be more transferable. It's more human like, right? It's beyond the animal kingdom and it's more human like, potentially attributable to late stage brain infection. Okay, so this one attacks the brain. Okay, so it's not that long thing, the coronavirus that we've all grown to love and know so well. It's taken out our neighbors and our friends and our family, the coronavirus family. This is actually attacking the brain. Okay, this underscores a spillover risk of GXP2V into humans and provides a unique model for understanding the pathogenic mechanisms of SARS-CoV-2 related viruses. I think an argument could be made that this really isn't related. It's a totally different gain of function. And so I'm not going to go in and read this whole thing. I want you to do that. I want you to tell me what you're thinking about this, what your thoughts are. And I wish I had a call in where you guys could just call in and the people that are trolling me saying it's silly, you guys could call in and scream at me in Japanese or wherever you're from, Ukrainian, Russian. We then evaluated the tissue tropism. See how they just go right into medical jargon, which, I can read it. I can break it down. I have to read it like 2 or 3 times, before my brain kind of wraps around. And some of it's easier to understand for me than others, but it is there. It's very concerning. There's a lot of this talk from the World Economic Forum, which they're meeting in Davos right now. There's a lot of talk of about these or this, whatever this disease X, quote unquote. Where's my quotes? There it is. The disease X, which I think is just another way of viciously attacking and trolling Elon Musk as he's going bankrupt on the SpaceX and the Tesla batteries are exploding and don't work in snow flurries. I think they're just viciously trolling him because now his bankrupting X is going tits up. So it's pretty brutal for old Elon. But the thing is to remember before you really start playing the violins for the boss is billionaires are resilient mofos. Have you noticed that? I mean, they bounce back. They bounce back with a vengeance. It just, they could go bankrupt on multi platforms, as in Elon's case currently, and they just bounce. It's like something like this. They're resilient mofos. You can't argue with that. So the poor guy, but he's strong. He's a strong guy. You got to be strong to have hundreds of children like he does on multiple countries. But oh yeah, there's another dragon picture up there that, God, I think I'm gonna like this StreamYard. This is really cool. It's once I get the feel of it, I can make this work. So much better. This is exactly the kind of platform I was looking for. Is something to kind of handle all these different files. So, and I just have to figure out, for example, I have to click on each of those, and then I have to actually go back to the StreamYard platform. So if I want to show you the dragon, I have to click on these other buttons, with like Facebook, for example, Meta and Facebook. it's if you're not using something like this StreamYard, it's like it's very tunnel vision. If you understand what I'm saying, it's like trying to tell you is you can't bounce around really smooth, And really, what I would like to do is do like round table type of like everyone chips in, like get. We used to do this all the time in politics several years ago with the whole crew of folks. And you get everybody's little box, everybody's got their little picture and they got their little meme, you know what I'm saying? And they get a voice. Their voice matters and they get to chime in. We need more of this. For me personally, it's stopped completely. Just because there's so many people that were into politics in 2016, devastated by Bernie Sanders, devastated by all of this crap that they haven't been voting for years. They didn't vote in 2020. They're not going to vote in 2024. Unfortunately, that was that group of people that I was doing the roundtables with. I think that was a lot of America, by the way. But so the thing is that I haven't totally mastered is how can I put up multiple? So it's showing that dragon. Okay, so the blue box on that is showing me what is being shown. So this is the wood. This is truly the wood dragon. This is hand carved. Look at that. This is hand carved wood. Look at those little tiles. Now, when you look at that, oh my God, I can't imagine carving that in wood. Oh my God. When you look at that and then you look at this pangolin, I mean, do you see what I'm talking about? Tell me that those aren't little tiles. Wow, those almost look like artichoke leaves. It's like he's just he's in camouflaged in artichoke leaves there. But I mean, they really are. That tell me that isn't one weird looking dude. I mean, am I wrong? But okay, so you're still on the wood dragon there. So I gotta click share this one, and so these are all the little buddies. The little dragon. They're little wood dragons, right? So and they're being experimented on, and apparently they've taken some of these guys and they've supercharged it up with some of these other guys, and everybody in the lab went lights out. 100% mortality, right? What's most problematic to me, and that's sad in itself, right, is it's attacking the brains. It's a brain virus. Not good. I mean, I really wish these guys would stop doing that. I don't understand why we got to continue to do that kind of work in the biolabs. I mean, is it just me? It must be just me. Okay. But, it's, the animals. I don't like torturing animals. I don't think that's cool. But I'm really thinking about beyond the animals that are being tortured. I'm thinking about this escaping through neglect or error or something more nefarious, right? And really getting that, the carbon, the C in that equation that Gates puts up and says, we got to get this population down because the carbon footprint's out of control or something like that. And it's like, wait, what? I mean, these little eugenics workshops on TED Talk are starting to be a little troublesome for me. I don't know. Maybe they always were troublesome, but good God Almighty. So, Year of the Dragon. I think it's the new moon, and it's on February 10th. So I think that's how that works. Wow, it's amazing. So you got trolls popping out of nowhere on StreamYard. That's really amazing. These guys are trying to get a piece of me. But so what do we want to? Was that it? I guess is that all we wanted to talk about? I wanted to bring up the Disease X and the timing. They're in Davos. We got the Billionaires Club. I just Klaus, the favorite Germans. The solar flares. Oh yeah, the solar flare update on that is everything's been all chilled out. It looks like there was multiple explosions on the backside, but not on facing here. Sorry, I thought I didn't click that. So this is the facing us right now. Okay. And so things are coming around from the backside, which it looked like there had been reports of some massive explosions on the backside, but not Earth directed, right? So Aurora chasers, the photographic guys, which I love to see that, they're really excited about it. I'm not as thrilled about how it affects the human brains, how it affects our electronics, our communications. We're right now pretty much it's not pretty much, we're in a world war right now, and we got to start talking point blank truth bombs. Okay, we're in world war. Now we could argue about, I say it's World War IV. Okay, I think World War III already happened. And I mean, 20 years with Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, all the proxy wars, ISIS, ISIL, Sunni, Shia, everybody around the whole frigging globe was in the middle of that. That's a world war. Okay. I mean, not only was it was 20 years. Technically, we were dicking around in Afghanistan for 20 years. You follow me on that? So some would say, well, there wasn't a nuclear. Well, how do we know there wasn't a nuclear bomb? And then, little mini micro nukes, there sure the hell could have been. How do you know? And then another person could argue, or I would argue, that depleted uranium warheads is radioactive, right? So, I mean, I think they're used for tank busters, or they create all kinds of abnormalities. They create like deformed children for generations. You don't see much of that in Iraq because they keep it out of the video. If you would actually do a little research, you'll see a lot of deformed babies in Iraq. That's from that depleted uranium. It's nasty shit. It's horrible, nasty shit. So the solar flares are chill. I see that's right there. But it's coming. We're going to be having some major flare activity again. So read that study about disease X. I know that InfoWars has been doing some great coverage on it. AJ, Alex, I call him AJ's. He's been doing some digging on it. He's tripping out on it because he read a bunch of documents years ago. I mean, he made a couple of fucking movies and films about it. In Game was one, where he predicts these biological attacks. And it really does kind of fit nicely into the election year. I mean, it's just, I don't want to sound like trying to scare the crap out of you, right? Because it's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to analyze, some current things and current events. Okay. and anxieties. I'm expressing some anxieties. Okay. I mean, that's fair, right? I mean, when people that you've been following for decades, like AJ, Alex Jones, InfoWars, just for an example, there's other ones, but he's a big one. When everything that they've been talking about for like not just 20 months, like 20 fucking years is coming true, you're kind of like, there might be something with this AJ guy. I mean, he's making movies about shit a long time ago, and here it is. It was like, surprise! I made a movie about this, and it's happening. So, hey, when those guys start talking like that, then you're like, you listen. You snap right the fuck up and listen. And that's what's happening right now, in my opinion, or my experience. That's what I'm experiencing, is these things are coming true. And he's reading documents. The World Economic Forum, this isn't like conspiracy shit. Well, it's a conspiracy, but it's not like some crazy conspiracy theory that's came out of 4chan or 8chan, or some people overeating cubensis in a wigwam somewhere and typing things up that could possibly happen in a science fi novel. No, that's not what's going on. These documents they're talking about are coming directly from the globalist overlords who are trying to take over our sovereignty. Now, that makes me a little nervous. I don't know about you, but when I've got globalists coming in, trying to take over my state and county and city sovereignty to make our own decisions about how we're going to react and govern ourselves and elect and do these things, we got these globalists are dressed up like in cheap Shakespearean Star Wars outfits, and they're talking about we're going to have a global currency and we're going to do the global governance. We didn't elect them. Who elected them? We didn't know. I didn't elect them. Did you elect them? Shit, most of you people aren't even voting. Get your asses in and registered. We need you to fucking vote because we got globalist overlords who nobody's voted for is taking over and they're gonna fuck your shit up. Okay? I mean, this is not super trigonometry. It's not even calculus or geometry here. We're doing basic pre-algebra, pre-science. We're doing psychology 101 for beginners. Okay? Pay attention. And so there's some great posts on X from InfoWars AJ, and he's got his own network band video, I believe it is. I tune in on them all the time. Every day, actually, I watch a little bit. They do like 4 or 5 hours. I can't watch all of it, but I do actually try to catch just about every day. So this disease X is this is actually what they're called. It's in the paperwork. It's in the fucking paperwork. Now, are they just saying X as like it's anonymous? Probably, or I don't know, whatever. I mean, it is partly. But, I mean, do they have something in mind? Like a brain virus that comes from pangolins that look like little dragons to be released in 2024, the year of the dragon, in an election year, right? Where these globalists look real weak and everybody looks kind of wimpy, right? I mean, look what happened in 2020 with universal ballots being sent out, right? I mean, that's what happened. It wasn't white hats and black hats and having gun battles in German tunnels underground in Frankfurt. Although, Jesus, with all this talk of tunnels, and tunnels under New York, and tunnels here, and tunnels there, got people saying there's tunnels in Hawaii. I mean, what the fuck? I thought that was just like delusional QAnon stuff, which it was in part. But what the fuck is up with all these tunnels? Bizarre. But that's one of the things that I actually heard in 2020 is that there was gun battles over servers in Frankfurt, Germany. Right? Jesus. And what concerns me is those same goofballs, whether they're how far in the military and the government they are, is an unknown, as the great scholar Rumsfeld so articulately stated. The unknowns and unknowns, and we have some known unknowns, and then there's of course known knowns, which those we manipulate, right? When you a known, but the unknown unknowns are a little problematic because we don't know. We know they're desperate. We know they're up against the ring. We know that they're getting the crap knocked out of them. And they're cornered. So desperate people do desperate things, right? Yes. How crazy does it get? My guess is it's going to get pretty crazy. How about you? You think it might get a little nutty? Like it hasn't already been batshit crazy in this year? It's only been 16 days. Woo! I don't know about you, but I've seen a whole hell of a lot of crazy in 16 days. So I don't know. It's not gonna. You got to be strong. It's like that balance, that the delicate balance of getting people to awaken, to realize what's going on, to realize that they're being duped and we're falling into another major, massive global psychological operation, but yet not terrifying and traumatizing them to where they go and kill themselves, right? Or jump off bridges, or smoke fentanyl and do yoga stretches until they're not alive anymore. I was gonna say they're not breathing, but I mean, some of this zombie activity, I don't know who's really breathing and not breathing. I mean, it's hard to tell. Okay. But I mean, I've got neighbors that I'm like looking at and I'm like, there's no breathing, but somehow they're breathing. But I'm looking at them going, their eyes are wide open, they're not blinking, they're not breathing, the chest isn't going up and down, but they're not dead. I mean, what do you call that? Is like some sort of undead? I mean, what? I think I've got some fucking undead neighbors, man. I mean, it's like the Haitian dancing with Haitian undead across the hall over here. I have no idea. I mean, when someone looks dead, it's like, how are you not dead? I mean, are you? I don't know. It's a delicate. It's a very something so simple becomes very deeply philosophical all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? Very, very unusual. It's unusual to me, but I don't know. So anyway, this is cool. I'm kind of excited about this new setup on StreamYard. I'm just kind of looking at this new dash, and I was like, this is really. I needed to learn how to do this, a couple years ago. I always relied on other people to be the host and to just drop in everybody and get the round tables together and do the, and it's like when you don't have a bunch of team, you don't have a bunch of other people that are all, they're not going to do it and just add you and drop me in. That's the way it was. I was just like dropped into the pool and I give my testimony and it was great. I loved it. I miss it. I miss that because I like hearing other people's testimony from around the country. And really, we would get people from all over the world dropping in. It's amazing with social media, how everyone just seems like, oh, yeah, there's a profile. Well, where are they? And then where are they really? I mean, where are they in contrast to what they're stating on a profile? Like, oh yeah, hey, I'm in Texas, and it's like, I don't think you're in Texas. But that's fine. I mean, people don't want to. There's a lot of anxiety, about people coming to get you. There's some truth to that. So, I personally don't live my life worrying about who's going to come get me. If they haven't got me now, boy, I got them. Right? I mean, come on, man. Listen, if you don't start laughing, you're going to start crying. And then you're going to curl up and you're going to be dancing with the undead. You over there with my goddamn neighbors. Don't do that. Don't go over there. I'm worried about those people. But anyway, so you got the pangolins. Okay, can you see that? If that isn't, you tell me. I got to make that bigger for you. You tell me if those aren't little baby dinosaurs. What the hell is that? And why does a laboratory want to suck shit out of that, soup it up into a hybrid, and now all of a sudden we got 100% mortality with a frickin' brain virus? It's not your lungs, it's not your kidneys, it's not even your heart anymore. You thought inflammation of your heart was fun. Well, wait till you get a little dab of this one. It's going straight to your noodle. And I mean, everything about a brain virus sounds very problematic. It's just nothing positive. It's like there's no feats of strength or some sort of like amazing story that you survived it if you do come back from it, right? Well, first of all, how many people have you ever met that said, I survived a brain virus? Not very many, maybe none. Okay. I can't actually recall anybody in my life that has said to me, wow, I survived a wicked brain virus. Woo! I had runny nose and laid up in bed for weeks, but wow. And I'm like, what? So this whole respiratory thing, that's for amateurs. We got something popped up on steroids and toxic hormones. It's gonna be throbbing in your brain. Woo wee. So it's something exciting to look forward to. I mean, it'll be another thing to chalk up and say, wow, we survived a whole bunch of stuff. But this year, woo, we survived stuff we didn't even know existed. We survived brain viruses we didn't even know we could get. And thank God they've got therapeutics already drafted up. I mean, these guys are phenomenal scientific minds, right? I mean, do you know anybody that's got the therapeutic before the disease X is hatched? I mean, this is bordering on psychic gypsy palm readers, right? Psychic gypsy palm readers. You got to read my palms, right? I mean, it's a little spooky. Therapeutics before you got the virus to therapeuticize. And therapeuticize is important work. I don't know, man. You read that and you tell me. And because YouTube doesn't, they don't really like me talking about anything. I mean, nothing. I think I found my sweet spot with just posting videos of making like mushroom omelets. Or tacos or something, like maybe the perfect meatball. If I can make the perfect meatball video in 4 minutes or so, YouTube's cool with me. They're cool. But as soon as I start talking about pangolins, oh fuck. Oh, there's like red flags. I got handlers. I got some zing tongue too. Some guy trolling me, calling me names and saying I'm silly and all this weird shit that starts like little sirens and bells and whistles, like whoop whoop whoop. Okay, he's talking about preprint peer review. Whoop 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 whoop. Wah, 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 wah. It gets pretty intense here at YouTube. So you got to stick to the meatball videos and how to make the perfect oyster omelets in 5 minutes. But there is one thing I also wanted to talk about here real quick. Was it nothing heavy, but it's about politics, and so the politics, we're at this major transitionary period in American politics right now. Okay. I don't know about you. I am so sick and tired of hearing about these Republican primaries. I think America is, I mean, how could you guys not be tired of it? It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, what the fuck is going on? We got Meatball Ron, the War Winch. I mean, never Nikki, never Nikki, never, 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 ever, 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 ever Nikki, and whoever was the genius that suggested that she should be somehow anywhere near the administration, more or less on a VP ticket, you are fired. I don't care. Pack your bags. Get your goddamn White House locker cleared out. Don't forget all those packets of weird unknown substances. Get the hell out of the campaign office. You're done. I can't think of a quicker way to just pack Donnie's campaign full of boom boom and corn pops, pow pow, then putting that war skank, never Nicky, anywhere near a hat to be drawn like a lottery to come out as a VP. Or it turns out that it was all just some weird, some of her CIA spook friends trying to, rattle some fucking goobery nonsense. I don't know, but with Donnie, uh, Donald J. Trump, DJT, everyone likes to give people nicknames. What's wrong with that? Donnie, I noticed that he's switching up a little bit there in New Hampshire. Like I heard some different music, or maybe that was some of the platform that they were playing their own music over stuff. But we got to switch things up, okay? I mean, the snake poem, okay? I let's stop with the snake poem, okay? I'm trying to stay positive because everybody's like, oh, you don't know what that's about, and I'm like, yeah. After the last 18 months of hearing that fucking goddamn snake poem, I got a pretty good idea what he's trying to get at. Okay, there's a lot of poetry out there. If you want to read poems, hey, that's a way to kind of take over the cultural. That's kind of a cultural revolution. Like with our artwork, we'll take over with the artwork, which we have, and the music, which we have, and the poetry. There's a lot of poetry. A lot of poetry that could be read, and it could be all packed full of really cool metaphors. Okay? The snake is not a good metaphor. I know it's don't tread on me. It's like, the flag, and it's like, oh yeah, the snake is, the snake goes back to Genesis. He wasn't a good guy in Genesis. Okay. And why are we going to pretend the snake's a good guy now? All right. There's a reason that the Hopi tribe did snake dances and they killed the snakes. They didn't hold them. They didn't cuddle them. They didn't rescue them. They didn't put them close to their chest and have the motherfuckers bite them in the neck. Although actually they were doing crazy shit like that with snake dances, but they killed them. It wasn't there to say let's try to do cool things and make sure the snake is comfortable and dance around. No, the Hopis killed the motherfuckers. Okay, so I mean, if you have a poem like that, yeah, maybe, but does it have to be snakes? I mean, I can't put into words. The normies in America, especially the young people, they don't want to hear a snake poem for 18 months repeated over and over and over and over again about you knew who I was when you picked me up. Oh my God. I mean, I'm telling you, I can't be the only one that thinks it's time to release the balloon, time to release the snake balloon, snake poem for good, forever. Okay, done. No more snaky poo poem. Lots of different stuff to go out there. To be quite honest, it I was beginning to wonder what kind of a breakdown I was witnessing. I'm serious. It's like, when people, it's like Rain Man or something. It's like when you're repeating something, it's not healthy. I'm not a clinical trained psychiatrist. I got a lot of psychology experience and a lot of psychology training. Who doesn't study the mind? Not a doctor. I don't need to be to know when things are problematic behavior and things are weird and how people are not going to connect with it. Okay. Yes, I understand that the snake is illegal immigration. The liberals are bringing them in, and that the snakes are going to bite all the liberal women's tits off. I understand that. I understand the poem. Or was that not it? I thought that's what it was. But something like that with the poems. Okay, so poems are good. Poems are good. Music is good. Now's the time to pivot with the music. Now's the time to get some new DJs, right? Right? So when you have a party of, all the time, and the same people are coming to the party all the time, they want to start to hear some different music. They want to hear some all-American tasty stuff. Now, granted, I remember like in 2016 hearing something about lawsuits or artists saying, I'm going to sue you. You can't use my music. Or I think there was John Cougar Mellencamp. I remember hearing something, which that would be a great one. If you could, and if he's angry and doesn't want you using it, all the more reason to play it. Play it more often. If you got some douchey boo, some big juicy douchey boo, and they're complaining and making threats about not using their work, play it twice as often. No, but just play it every now and then. Mix it up. Mix it up. Even consider, and as crazy as this may sound, even consider mixing in some electronic dance music, some EDM. Get that in there. We need the youth. You got to do youth voter outreach. Okay? The Snake Poem is not doing youth voter outreach. Not so much. Okay? Not at all. And so really got to put some deeper thinking into some of this stuff, please. I don't know who's the A team. I don't know who's on the B team. I'm hearing all these different people, these circles of people that are around Donnie and who he's listening to and changing his mind. That's good, man. You got to know when to pivot. You got to know when to correct statements that are tweets that are made and things like this with Vivek. Vivek, they're coming out and he's not MAGA, and it's like, who's the fucking genius that wanted to start pitching insults at Vivek? I mean, half of the base, if not more than 80, probably more, a whole bunch of the base is very concerned that who he is and what he's doing and all that. Vivek is the greatest Pied Piper candidate. That's that term, what the Clintons used for even Donald Trump himself. Clinton wrote that in an email. She called Donnie the Pied Piper. She was also referring to Bernie Sanders. And, people in their mass formation psychosis in 2016, a lot of people still don't understand that Bernie is a total stooge and a piece of crap and always was the greatest bundler and billionaire bundler for the DNC in all time. Still is, by the way. I mean, the guy's just the people that worshipped him is really why the country is gone down the toilet. It's those people. But you have to understand that a good chunk, a few million out of the 15 or 20 million that were Bernie-crats, this is 2016, 5, whatever it was, there was a few million that actually said, fuck you, Hillary, fuck you, Democrats, we're voting Donald Trump. That was a huge push that voted for Trump and got Trump in 2016. That didn't happen in 2020, did it? No. Even with all those universal ballots coming in, which in large part were more than likely had Joey's name on them. But the main thing with all of that, like I was saying, let me digress on some of that and tie that together with the universal ballots that need to be verified. They were unverified. They didn't have barcodes, like for tracking barcodes. That's everything. All the ballots in Oregon all have tracking barcodes. You can look up where your ballot is. Where was it last handled? Where was it seen? Where is it? Was it tallied? None of that was happening across the country like Oregon does. Nowhere. And that was a reason for that. There's a reason that Dominion voting machines are being used in Georgia and other places where there's no record paper trail. Things can be flipped, can be altered, can be tallied or not tallied, intentionally left off. All of that trail, unless there's an investigation on election day, election night, even election week, cannot be proven in court. That's exactly what 2020 showed us. That you can't get it in front of a court, in front of a judge, in front of a jury fast enough to challenge the theft and the steal of universal ballots that are unverified. There's no way to go through a verification process when CNN and Fox and everyone else is saying declaring winners before half of them are even voted, even tallied. See? So that should be obvious for everyone if you're paying attention. Whether you're blue or red or indie or whatever it is, authoritarian, civil libertarian, that should be obvious because we need to have that. If the voters, that's how bad things happen. Bad things happen when people lose faith in the paper ballots. They lose faith in the election. They feel like they're being robbed, they're being cheated, and it could very well be happening. And that's all it takes. You don't even have to have evidence of that. If there's a doubt of it, it's toxic seeds, it's toxic fruit. You should know that. We do know that, I believe. I hope you do. I'm amazed how much how simple stuff people just they're not grasping. They're not or believing. I mean, I don't know. They don't believe it, they don't grasp it, they don't care, maybe. They're just checked out. I mean, they're not even voting. Like Iowa. How many registered Republicans are in Iowa? Isn't there like 4 or 5? Isn't it the same population as Oregon? 4 or 5 million people? Isn't it? I mean, I'm asking because I don't have all the data in front of me. But I think it is. So if you've got 4 million or whatever it is in Iowa, how many Republicans voted? Because all the numbers that I'm seeing is like 20,000, 30,000. There was 50,000. There was 1,800 voted down. And I'm like, what? What? I mean, if you got 4 million people, shouldn't there be 999,000 registered Republicans? Shouldn't you have 1 million registered Republicans and at least 1 million registered Democrats in Iowa? Why didn't they vote? I mean, why did we have 100,000 people vote in the primary of Iowa when there should have been 1 million? Let's look at the data. I mean, you prove me wrong. You tell me wrong. Or let's work together to find the truth on how many people voted in Iowa. How many Republicans came out? Not very many. Was it 5% that voted? Was it 10%? If you got 1 million registered Republicans and only 100,000 showed up, you got 10% voter returns. I understand it was 30 below. We could argue, was that intentional or not to keep people inside? That certainly did kill off the voter turnout. But what was the exact voter turnout? Nobody's talked about that. And the other really weird thing about that last night is everybody came out within like 30 minutes, 20 or 30 minutes, declared Trump the winner. I think CNN, Fox, everybody. That was like DeSantis' big grievance is the media was skewed against him and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, all the media and everybody hates Donald. And here's Meatball Ronnie is going to play a victim, talk about how he was screwed out of whatever the fuck he's been jawing away about a couple of things today. He's pretty upset he was cheated by the media and the press. Wow, right? I mean, like, Trump isn't being cheated by the media and the press. They're not even playing Rachel Maddow. They're not even playing his speech. They're not even playing the 4 or 5 minutes that he congratulates everybody and talks about stuff. Are you with me on that? So anyway, that's the free advice is you've got to, I think it's time to, not only do we have to do kind of a reunion tour, getting the band back together, because it's just the environment is really vicious. Now I understand. Here's another weird, delicate balance. I understand we need people like referees and umpires calling everybody out, calling out the Republicans, the MAGA, and the Democrats, everybody. I mean, we need people like that. But at the same time, it's so divisive at times, especially social media with like heavy hitters, like big names, like Jenna Ellis, Laura Loomer, which I love her style myself. I like Jenna too, actually, even though, she, you know, um, whatever. I'm not going to go through and criticize her. We really need to bring some of these, especially the women, together, back at least on diplomatic terms. These heavy hitters, especially. That's exactly what the Democrats want. That's what deep state, that's what U.S. intel wants, is they want a divisive. They want people attacking each other and hating each other and creating these schisms and lack of unity. And that's the kind of thing that would fuck up a Trump general election, in my opinion. So there's a delicate balance there that needs to transition. And but at the same time, this Republicans are rugged individualists, right? We don't need a bunch of totalitarian Democrats all goose step marching together in the greater bad, the greater evil, the greater demise. I would much rather have. That's what I like about the Republican. Is if and I'm not a big party guy, as I'm an independent and I 30 years co-founder of the Green Party, Pacific Green Party here in Oregon. We were Pacific before we took on Green with Ralph Nader because we wanted to chip in and help out with that federal matching dollars. If you can get 5%, if Ralph Nader would have gotten 5%, we would have had millions in federal matching dollars, and the state parties would have been allocated and rightfully received some of that. It's the same thing today. If you can get a third party together, doesn't look promising with a real solid third party. The best we got is what we're calling independents, right? So you got Bobby Kennedy Jr. and blah blah blah, a bunch of these other loose Cornell West, Dr. West, which he's kind of an interesting guy, really. I don't like his politics, but it doesn't matter what I like. It's what's resonating with people. People need representation. It's like Malcolm X famously said, infamously, it's ballots before bullets. And I don't know if he was directly making a threat, possibly, but that's not what I'm saying he was doing. He was doing really, it was psychoanalysis of the society. If people are not represented, they're going to riot, right? That's what MLK was talking about. He was like, people are rioting because they're not being heard, they're not being listened to. And you get people that take up arms because of mental illness for the most part. But on a political level, when you're dealing with patriots, if they don't feel like they're not being heard and their country is no longer representing them, it's really dangerous. It's a dangerous time. I mean, that's Civil War type of discussion. Again, that's exactly what globalists want. I would argue, and many people are arguing, they're far more aware and larger platforms and smarter than me. Although it's not really about intelligence, it's about awareness, it's about perception. Is you don't have to be a genius to know that people are angry and distrustful of a government to where if they're not going to be represented, they're going to take it into different levels. And you've got mental illness on all different levels and spectrum. The most dangerous people are the ones that aren't voting, and that's anarcho-communists. Anarcho-communists, for the most part, they don't care about voting. They think it's a joke. And so if you get conservatives, which I'm hearing and reading, social media, I pay attention to people, I listen to them. They're at that breaking point to where if they don't think voting matters, they think it's rigged. And so how are they going to take their country back? If they can't do it peacefully through paper ballots because the Dominion voting machines are untraceable and doing weird, sketchy shit, it's not good. It's not good. So, and we don't want that. We don't want any of that shit. So that's an hour right there. Just clicked 4 zeros, 1 4 zeros. Um, so anyway, I've been wanting to say that for a while, and it seems like that Donnie's shifting a little bit. It might have just been my perception, but it's got to shift. You can't have those same songs play. Uh, I would have stopped 6 months ago. I would have switched. But I like lots of different new music. I like DJs. That's just who I am. I used to have gallery shows, monthly shows where I would have different bands come in every month, mix it up with different music, different bands, different artists every month. That's the way it should be. That's what people want. They need entertainment. They don't want to see the same shit. They don't want to think. The MAGA campaign doesn't want people to think it's the same old bullshit. It's the tired songs, tired this, nothing's changed. It's the same players, even with putting Lieutenant Flynn. It people it I wouldn't recommend doing things like that. People want something different. They're not going to vote and come out and support if they think it's the same old tired music, tired snake poem, tired people doing the same tired bullshit. You're not going to motivate the MAGAs, the patriots, the conservatives, or the independents. And you better get smart about that. Team MAGA, team everybody around that. And there was some smart pivoting. There was damage control with Vivek, got him on stage tonight. There was even yesterday, there was a quick right on it tweet that bogged down the team B that said he wasn't real MAGA and just stupid shit. You don't send out stupid shit like that with allies, even if they're running against you. You're up by 50 fucking points. Now you're going to have an insecurity. You're going to have a little man's complex. You're going to have some sort of weird little man's complex about, oh, God, Vivek, oh, boy, he's just copying me. Yeah, well, the greatest fucking flattering in art is when people replicate and duplicate what you're doing. Okay? So, and I know it's different in politics, and I do know that we have to have some purity tests or some vetting. It's like people are flipping out that he had some Soros money or something that trickled down from somewhere. Yeah, fuck Soros. But you have to understand, Soros, he funds everybody, all sides. The Jewish guy that loaded up his friends and family in Nazi train cars for work camps, that's Soros. He admits to it in video. That's George Soros. Both sides. Oh, yeah, hey. So work camp, this will help you, and bye-bye. Loading up your friends and family on Nazi fucking work camp train cars. George Soros. So, it's very appropriate that he's with the Democrats and funding mainly liberal Democrat stuff. That's not all he does. He does all sides, both sides. And that's a part of the globalist agenda is we got to make America weak, obviously flood all these, military aged men from 160 countries. We're not talking about Mexicans here. Okay. We're not talking about, Jesus and Jose and the Rodriguez brothers. No, nothing to do with Mexicans. The immigration, we're talking about millions of people, military aged Chinese, military aged from Iran, uh, all over. There's Michael Yon, YON on X. He's down at the Panama, the Darien Gap. He tracks it. He'll make videos and he says, this is what's happening. These are all 20, 30-year-old, 6'5" Chinese military-aged men. Really? So no women, no elderly, no children, not for the most part. Here and there, not for the most part. So pay attention. This isn't, we're not coddling the snake and, oh, hey, I'm going to take care of you. Why'd you bite me? Ugh. No, it's way beyond getting bit by a fucking snake. Okay. It's, it's being an invasion. We're under attack and we're in a world war. So if you got Ukrainian Nazis, I mean, Biden himself has flown in all kinds of Ukrainian Nazi ops. I mean, hundreds of thousands of them into the States, just like he did hundreds of thousands of Afghans, right? I mean, we just had a whole bunch of Afghans, everyone saying, oh, they're decorated Afghanis who crashed a plane out at the Evergreen CIA headquarters. Well, what the heck could they be doing learning how to fly planes out at McMinnville, out at the Evergreen CIA headquarters? What the fuck? And then all the press, of course, was like, oh, shame on you guys. These are decorated. These are about decorated what? Decorated what? Decorated operatives? They were working with America over in Afghanistan. So they're decorated traitors of their own Afghan people as they were working with CIA in Afghanistan. That's a good thing. Oh, that's a good thing? Oh, okay. They were helping the U.S. empire as they were destroying their own people in Afghanistan. Ah, that makes them the good guys, right? And then that explains why they're learning how to fly out of the CIA Evergreen Airport. Right. They're the good guys. They were helping America. Oh, right. Oh, no, thank you. I don't believe and buy your fucking donkey manure. Fuck you. Unbelievable. And you always know it's sus when you got all the press coming in. Oh, no, these are good guys. These weren't the bad guys. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, no. Oh, these are. Oh, and all of a sudden they're like war heroes from a fucking cave that the Taliban hand raised, and now they're the good guys. It's like, what? Fuck you guys. So that's Biden. That's Biden flying in these hundreds of thousands of operatives directly from there. So they're not even being funneled up through the Panama, the Darien Gap, or this whole fucking, which they are doing it, but I'm not saying that that's not happening. It is, of course. But I'm just saying, let's just work with the hundreds of thousands of operatives that Biden has flown in from the known, not the unknown unknowns, the unknown knowns, but the known knowns, right? Ukraine. Who was at the J6 Capitol? We got pictures of him all over the place hugging the shaman. Ukrainian Nazis. Who was in Hong Kong riots? Ukrainian Nazis. Who was at the trucker convoy? Ukrainian Nazis. Who was here in downtown Portland in 2020 trying to blow up the federal courthouse with a bunch of other stupid, dumb fuck anarcho-communists? Ukrainian Nazis. You seen a pattern? You seen a pattern yet? Yeah, me too, right? So let's just snap out of this, okay? Let's pay attention here to what's going on. So we got an obvious money trail, people trail, human resource trail and Biden is leading the way, which he's the figurehead, but he's leading the way for all of these hostile operatives that we just happen to be at war with. I'll be damned, right? God. So switch up things, Trump people, switch up things. I mean, I could give all kinds of advice to the Democrats and I don't even care anymore about them. I mean, I never did. I'm just saying it's like, fuck it. But why? I mean, obviously they need to switch him out. I think they will. I don't think it's going to be Michelle Obama. I don't think it's going to be Governor Newsom, but what are they going to do? Like H.A. Goodman has been saying that it's going to be Hillary Clinton. Who knows? I mean, some whack job like that with old school CIA ties and a homicidal sociopathic killer, a known with the deep state. actually makes sense. And who's best to cover Epstein and all the rest of the crimes that Donnie is going to be taking a little closer look-see poo at, right? Who knows how much he can get done in so little time, but you got to surround yourself with solid people. And I think Don Jr. knows that. I see him posting things and I see him saying things. You know, he would be a really good presidential candidate too, actually, in 2028. Don Jr. I mean, I've seen him on Temple. I've seen him all over. He makes the circuits well. He's a pretty good, grounded, well-grounded communicator, and I like him actually. He's a likable guy. He's a people person, and he's got the younger age, which a lot of people, especially obviously the Gen Z, they're looking for some younger generation. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's down the line, but but that's all going to hinge on what Donnie does, Don Senior. If he makes the same type of John Bolton, Pompeo, if you're going to surround yourself by a bunch of fucking CIA douches again that are, starting in with a bunch of QAnon stuff. I see these guys on Rumble and all these, with making these QAnon video analysis and talking about all the same QAnon bullshit, black hat, white hats, who's with who and what. This group's attacking Lieutenant General Flynn, and he is sus, but I mean, who knows? I give people the benefit that they can change. Now, I still am critical and scrutinize them, like I am with him, particularly with that name, because he wore a wire for many, many months, maybe a year, trying to trap Donnie. I understand his son was threatened and his son was going to prison, and they trapped him. I don't care who traps you. If you're going to work with him and wear wires to trap Donnie, I don't want you around him here. Sorry. I know he's the war hero and a really great guy. I follow him and I do like him. I know AJ, Alex Jones on InfoWars loves him, has him on all the time, doing his interviews and blah, blah, blah. That's great. It's great having the political insight. But it's the same fucking players doing the same fucking shit. You got to stop that. You got to stop it. You got to switch it up. Stop with the snake fucking poems. Stop surrounding yourself with a bunch of fucking snakes reciting the poem. So, and I think it's possible, but it needs to happen. The healing, the mending needs to happen. How do we do that? How do we hold people that betrayed Trump accountable, but at the same time allowing people that see that Donnie is kicking ass, they're stunned that he's as popular after everything that they've done to him and all the lies and all the trials, all the indictments. What they didn't realize is, or didn't care, is that doing all of that is going to make him iconic into a superhero, which he's now become. I predicted that. We all did. It's an easy thing to see coming years back. 2016, I was saying that. You guys are going to turn an average carpetbagger into a fucking American icon hero. They did. I've posted those posts on Facebook. Years, like 7 years ago, 8 years ago, and they took that account down, so I can't actually pull it out and prove it. But wow, the floor is shaking. Do you feel that? Oh, are we having an earthquake? Raquel, you feel the floor vibrating? No, nothing at all, huh? I might be over the neighbor's fan downstairs. It's pretty dramatic. I don't think it's an earthquake. Will you look outside and see if there's a truck out there? The whole floor is shaking, but it feels like a truck vibration, like somebody's got a snowplow or something maybe coming down Foster. It's pretty dramatic though, and not a normal shake. Nothing out there, huh? Anyway, I gotta pop off. I'm gonna take a look at it, but definitely, it doesn't feel like an earthquake. It feels more like a vibration, but the whole apartment is vibrating. So it is very weird. Now she's beginning to see and understand what I'm feeling. It's something weird's going on. So I'm gonna check into it. I don't know. It can't be an earthquake because it's more like it kind of feels like somebody flipped on their fan downstairs, but we've never had any issues with vibrations from fans downstairs. But it's very weird. You feel that? It's very, very weird. Anyway, yeah, I think it died off. What the hell was that? I wish I could express and share that to you. I wish you could see that, but um, was there anything else? No, I don't want to. Now it's turning into a big spaghetti thing, but that's all right. I really wanted to do a test stream, check out the audios, check out these different type of things here. Let's go out on a little bit of music. That's just because that's the way I like to do it. And there's a little bit here on this one. That's pretty good. It mellows out at the end, but that's pretty good right in here.
I've been there, done that, messed around. I'm having fun, don't put me down. I'll never let you sweep me off my feet. I won't let you in again. The messages I've tried to send, my information's just not going in. Burning bridges shore to shore, I break away from something more. I'm not turned on to love until it's cheap. Been there, done that, messed around. I'm having fun, don't put me down. I'll never let you sweep me off my feet. This time, baby, I'll be bulletproof. This time, baby, I'll be bulletproof. This time, baby, I'll be bulletproof.
All right. Take a listen to that if you like. There's a whole bunch of good stuff on SoundCloud. But that's it. I'm out. That's my job. That's my line. That's my jibber jabber. Peace out. Be safe. Now that I got the StreamYard, maybe I'll come on a little more often. I don't know. This is definitely an improvement. Big improvement. Goodbye.